Hmm, Whose woods are these? I think I know. He lives within the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and icy lake, the darkest night of the year, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Welcome to the Angel Channel, episode 85. Yeah, man, glad you're all back. Good to see you. Nat, there you are. Glad to see you. Arnie, hey, buddy. Spectra, there you are. Lisa, hey, 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 hey. Yeah, um, CJ, glad you can make it. And you're top of the list tonight. Good to see you. So, as always, I want to thank my sponsors, Pride Okra Entertainment, my bud Ernie Mosteller, and those guys. Amazing creative and uh, super patrons keeping us up and alive. So, thank many, many, many thanks as always. And scope them out. FriedOkra.tv. Go check out his work, man. It's really amazing. And also our new sponsor, Audrey Asciutto Real Estate. And I'm really excited. I'm putting together a wonderful little 60-second spot we'll be running on the show from time to time. And everything on that front is just moving along swimmingly. So today has been the day of curveballs. Like every time I thought I was going this way, no, you're not. And one of the biggest curveballs was about 2 hours ago. I got a call from Minty, who is now flat on his back with a migraine. And like, I'm so sorry to hear that. Like, that is a really awful feeling to have. But super disappointed not to be playing, and super disappointed for you guys. But we are going to be rescheduling. September is already on us, so we'll slide him in one day in September. He asked me to, extend his apologies and sorrow. So we'll send him some really nice gold healing energy juice tonight, and see if we can get Minty up to speed. So I will, however, yes, that's correct. Robert Frost. That's one of my favorite poems ever written, and yeah, I'm super happy I did that. I don't know why that. I think it's just because my whole day was geared towards hanging out with Minty. Minty brings out my little boy like so much, man. He's just that's who he is, man. He's just this authentic little boy, man. And every time I get together with him and do some readings and combine energy, it just feels like, man, I'm in the sandbox with a great friend with my bucket and my shovel, and so it was kind of a last minute sort of structure on this. I'm really excited about what I'm going to be sharing with you guys tonight. And as always, love to do some readings for whoever would like one towards the end of the show, and, get your name in there and let me know what's happening. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I've got an update on the YouTube thing I've been kind of talking about. I haven't really mentioned it much because I've been in an experimental zone for myself, and that's that QDAR thing where it like reaches out and kind of scans your field and puts stuff up on its recommendations that you were thinking about, didn't necessarily say anything about. I know for a fact that actually works. I've done a bunch of experiments that I told you about, but I want to give you an update on where I am right now. The whole blank space meditation space that we go to every week and have been building and expanding, that really is the answer to a lot of stuff that's coming up. And my experimentation with that has been to go to blank space, and then I come out of that blank space and just look at the YouTube thing. And I was in super zero zone. And when I got up and left and came back and it had new recommendations for me, like none of them had anything to do with anything I've ever looked at, which is like everything that they show me is like something I've looked at before. So that was pretty crazy. And then on the flip side of that, I went back to blank space and I had come up with a list of 5 videos that I've never watched before, subjects I have no interest in, never thought about before, haven't spent any time thinking about at all, came out of blank space, and then just really impressed into the field around me, those 5 subjects. Got up, left, came back, and man, there were all 5 of them. I've repeated this experiment now 25 times. So I'm absolutely certain that is happening. And I'm absolutely even more so certain that really being able to achieve blank space and not just stay there, but start functioning with it, like aware of not being aware, and being able to program into the quantum field around us, man, that's the tool to have. So we're gonna keep going down to blank space and expanding that. When we first started that thing, we were like just a few seconds on the hold on the end. I think the last time we did it, we were like 30 seconds or a minute. So we're getting there, man, step by step. Yep. All right. Yeah. So this is a subject I don't really hear many people talk about anymore, but it's been a huge part of my life, and that's finding a teacher, and finding a good spiritual teacher that has already walked the path, like for a long time, and has road tested, battle garnered information to share with you, man, can save you so much time and so much trial and error. And no one knows this more than me, but the consequences of trial and error sometimes can be less than absolutely pleasant. But that relationship, when you find somebody, when you feel like you really want to go deep, there's nothing like connecting and bringing that to you, and I've been really lucky to have some amazing mentors that were wizards in their own way. My creative mentor was Ron Seacrest, the guy that runs Miami Ad School. It's an international advertising school, and the people that he's turned out over the last 40 years have been pretty impressive. And I was lucky enough to be among in one of his very first classes. And he continues to this day to be a profound influence in me. And he's the one that really taught me how to harness my creativity. And once you have the nut of how creativity and the energy of creativity works, you can expand that into any technical discipline you want, whether that's painting, whether it's music, whether that's film. Those were all the things I was interested in, drawing, and magic, of course. And over the years, I haven't had a lot, but I've had a couple of really intense people that have shown me a lot. Actually, one of those people, our friend Linda Martin, shows up here every week, and she and her hubby John had recording studio in Hollywood that I used all the time when I was at an agency, and that's how we met. And we struck up, as you can see, a lifelong friendship since then. And John has since passed away, but I always give him credit for teaching me how to record my music and to man, he opened up that whole world to me, and I've been lucky to have like 3 or 4 people like that. And that's because I asked, not just asked, but like, I'm thirsty, give me a drink. Find those people in your life. Everybody relies on the internet now, but there's really just no substitute for that interpersonal connection. And finding a really amazing teacher, probably one of the best ways to use your ritual magic, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. I thought it might be worthwhile to kind of describe my process of finding my teacher. It was a lengthy one. I know a bunch of people that they came and found them. Their teacher showed up and was like, "Okay, I'm taking you under my arms." What an amazing gift, man. It took me a decade to get there. And yeah, we'll talk about that in just a second. So the way I started mine, well, this all goes back to the advertising agency I was in. And the guy who was the owner, creative director there, brought this woman in one day to talk to the creative department and do like an inspirational sort of speech. And she was introduced as Reverend somebody. I can't even remember her name now, just remember Reverend. And instead of like some religious thing, man, she went off into this energy talk that I'd never really heard any of those concepts before. Actually being able to move telekinesis, move energy, use your energy to reach out and blow up your creativity. And man, I was just awestruck and riveted to everything she said. And the skeptic in me, man, the street smart part of me, I'm like, yeah, that's a great story, but what? And it was like she heard me. And I was sitting at the conference table, a couple of people down from her, and she was at the head of the table and reached out with her hand and grabbed onto this metal ashtray that was sitting right in front of me and pulled that thing towards her. And I'm looking for the magnet, I'm looking for the string, man, there wasn't anything. And right then, my concept of what was impossible went boom. And that was a really life-changing experience. And I went on to I decided that was absolutely something I had to do. So I started experimenting with some of that myself to hit and miss kind of success. And then as life does, it got crazy. I got distracted from that, and I wound up in Florida. In 1996, I was working as a commercial director, and I wound up, man, I've got to find my teacher. I'm getting old, time's running out. I really got to do something. So I busted out my my go-to at that time, which was sigils. Everything was a sigil, and I busted out my sigil to find my perfect teacher. And it wasn't even 2 days later. The woman I was living with at the time was a really badass script supervisor, and she was working on a movie there in town in Miami, and happened to be talking to someone on the set who was talking about his teacher and all the stuff he was doing, magnets and this and that, and it was into telekinetics and stuff like that. And she came home that night and told me that, and that sort of lit this fire under me. So I chased this guy for years and years and years, man. He would come over. He always wanted to keep himself between me and Og. Having direct contact was just next to impossible. So I hung with it, and years go by, man. And he would send me messages back and forth to this guy, and we stayed in touch, and but kind of on a step away kind of touch. And all of a sudden, then I realized that he's gone somewhere, and he and this guy aren't in contact for a while. It looks like years, and who knows when. And so I went off and got all off into my African thing at the time, and went through that. At the end of all of that, um, I get back into town, and I discovered that he's back, and we wound up having a couple conversations. I went over to his house a couple times, and he showed me some effects, and it was really cool. And for whatever reason, I didn't start up like right away with him. I like started working on some of the things that he showed me, and um, we had contact, but not all of the time. Then, and this is like 2008, I wound up having a really bad run, and I like, man, I was having that dark night of the soul, and for a bunch of years, man, like 4 or 5 years, and I gained like a huge amount of weight. I weighed like 400 pounds. I was sick and really, really not well on mentally, physically, especially spiritually, and I'd really lost my hope. And obviously, I was trying to slow go, um, taking myself somewhere else. And I go to the hospital. I'm feeling like really bad, man. I'm having all of these physical symptoms. My eyes are shutting down. I can't think. Like, I had these weird little boils on me. I'm like, wow, dude, this is really bad. Super dry mouth. And I get to the emergency room after my doctor sent me there, and I'm in the parking lot of the emergency room, and I get this call, and it's on. And I'm like, wow, dude, what a crazy time to call. And he goes, dude, what's going on? I said, well, as a matter of fact, I think I'm about to die. And I tell him I'm going to the emergency room. We had to talk about that. And he was like, wow, why didn't you call me, man? We would have helped you. And I, we talked for a minute more, and I said, and he said, listen, I'll make you a deal. We'll work on you, and we'll get you well. We'll get you out of the hospital. You go to work, and you lose 100 pounds. And when you lose 100 pounds and get your health back in order, I'll teach you an effect. And I'm like, deal. And that sort of changed everything for me. And actually, that's exactly what happened. I lost not only 100 pounds, I lost 160 pounds. And yeah, that changed my life in so many ways. I can't even tell you. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about this the other day. That's going on a 20-year relationship now, man. And you really, you go some really deep places around the universe with somebody like that. And when we first started learning together, I had the puppy eye, like, oh my God, Og, I can't believe you're showing me this. This is amazing. I'm like, this is crazy, crazy, crazy. And and he says, man, you must have some really terrible karma to get me as a teacher. And I'm like, no, are you kidding? You're fantastic, blah, blah, blah. And I was laughing the other day because now when he says that, I'm like, yeah, no kidding. My karma sucks. Anyway, Og, I know you're out there lurking around. And, yeah. Yeah. Thanks for all of it. Like, for real. Yeah. So, most of you out there have been sampling around, and by the I kind of really zeroed in on what I was really interested in, and whether that's healing or whether that's astral travel or projective effects, whatever that is, reach out to the universe and ask them to bring you someone that can really show you the ropes and help you get in deep. If you're serious about it, anyway. If it's just kind of like a surface sample, don't bother with that. But if you're really, really, really serious about learning and getting in deep. There's no substitute for that relationship. So, all right, I think I'm done with that. Welcome to my neighborhood. Oh, good night. Would you like to touch my sweater? My mother knitted. I don't know what's happening. Grace, I'm going over the edge, man. I'm doing Dr. Rogers or Mr. Rogers. Holy crap. I need you on here singing some songs. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. One just says, during the 37 years we had the studio, we mentioned 60 plus kids, people. Now many still call me mom and are so appreciative and stay in touch. You're my family. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's get down to some energy work now, man. And we're going to do a really nice sacred space opening. And before we get started on that, I never have really explained, like, I do this every time, but this actually has purpose and not just a sound uh, to generate out. And I use the clanger thing to do this. That clang thing, right? That's kind of the purpose of this particular thing. And what we're doing is creating some sacred space. So we're going to be generating energy, and when that clang thing happens, blast it out to all the edges of your room. Fill up every part of your space with that. So as it's going around and I'm saying the words with the brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Clang. So as that is going around with the words, I want you to be building up some energy, building up some energy, building up some energy. And when you hear the clang, boom, explode that out to the corners of your room. Okay? All right, here we go. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Blast it out right from your solar plexus. With the brilliant, radiant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Yeah, with the brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. We joyously gather again to create our sacred space, a place of sanctuary and safety, a place full of light. We ask that the angels be with us this evening to watch over us, share their knowledge and their love of the source. We ask that we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the wisdom to understand. And with absolute gratitude for all of it, every single bit, all of it. Absolute unconditional love. and our wish for bliss to the source, we open our circle. All right. Ha, Grace Krella. Thank you very much. That's my girl. Ask and you shall receive. And Grace Grella comes up with a great song line. You may be right. I may be crazy, but it may just be a lunatic you're looking for. Right on. Thanks, Grace. You're always there for me, baby. All right. Yeah. We're going to do a nice ride down to blank space. And then I've got a really good meditation for you. We're going to go take a little trip. I think that'll be very fun. All right. So, as always, I want you to draw in with your solar plexus. And you're drawing in not air, but you're drawing in the essence of the source, brilliant gold, warm, healing light. And let it just in through your nose and down through you and just infuse your whole body, spill out into your aura and your light body and just brighten it up really, really good. And then on the exhale, we're going to just be exhaling slowly through your mouth. As your breath goes away, your mind's going to be shutting off. Follow my prompt words down. And then when you run out of breath and we get to silence, just freeze frame. Just hold your breath, hold your thoughts, relax your body like you don't know how much tension you're holding in your shoulders and your neck. Let all of that go like you were a machine that just got turned off, like no power left. Okay. Just riding down to that perfect little moment of stillness. And we'll hold that for 6 or 7 seconds, maybe 10. We're feeling spunky. You guys have been pretty good. All right. At the end of that, at the end of the third one, we're definitely going to hold that for 30 seconds. So you're not going to be able to hold your breath, but the point of that is to get down to where you're there and you hold your breath for a second. And then when you need air, just very lightly, just take it in, but don't let your mind wander off back into your thoughts and stuff. Stay right there. That's the point of this practice right now. It's just to stay right there and expand the time. And now that like you've got a taste of blank space, now to be able to expand the time that you stay there until you can stay there indefinitely as long as you want. All right. I know I'm long-winded tonight. Here we go. In through your nose, use your solar plexus. Inhale. Really fill it up. Pack it in. Cold, healing light. And release. Turning off the machine. The world goes away. No thoughts. No mind. Deeper. Silence. And inhale. Really make it count. Send that energy all over you. Really fill it up. When you think you're full, pull some more. And release. Sinking deeper into the stillness. No sound. future, no time. Deeper silence. All right, last one. Make it count. Inhale. Really pack it in as much as you can. And release into the stillness. Place of bliss. Deeper. Deeper. Silence. 30 seconds. And 30. Take a really nice deep breath. Stay in that space. You're nowhere and everywhere. And out of that blank potential, you see materializing around you a beautiful garden, a walled garden. And you're standing in the center in a large circle that is an intricate mosaic of a wind rose. And you're standing still in the perfect center. You look up into the sky, a beautiful night sky, a sliver of the moon, a beautiful conjunction between Venus and Jupiter. Meteors shoot across the sky, leaving beautiful colored trails. The air is full of magic. You can feel it on your skin and the energy all around you. And you look down at your feet and you see water beginning to pour up and flood up out of the windrows and start to fill the garden up. Slowly, it's crystal clear, and it keeps filling up. It goes up your legs and up your waist, over your chest. You have a second to freak out that you think you're not going to be able to breathe, but all of a sudden you know it's perfect. And the water keeps going up over your head, and you're still breathing and just kind of wondering at this amazing sight before you. And the water keeps going up and filling up, and it's just as crystal clear that you can see all the stars just twinkling against the whole surface of the water. And finally it stops. It's a good 20 feet above you. You see the night sky, the stars looking doubly, triply bright. And you notice the beginning of a shimmer, and the shimmer grows into a small orb of light. radiating light in every direction. And that light grows. And you realize that it's a beautiful opalescent white with tinges of every color imaginable radiating in every direction. And it gets bigger, bigger and brighter and brighter and brighter. And finally, the entire water around you, everything is just brightly lit with the radiant light. And finally, it gets so bright, you have to hide your eyes for a second. And when you open them, standing at the top is a tall, straight figure dressed in white robes. And you can see the distortion of the surface of the water playing with his image. And he reaches his right hand out to you. And you find yourself starting to float up through the water towards his hand. Your hand breaks the surface of the water and comes out and takes his hand. And you find yourself on the surface, looking at this man that looks ancient, dressed all in bright white hair, long white hair, and eyes that change color like a kaleidoscope, bright with light radiating from him. And he has the faintest smile. He holds out both hands to you. You take his hands. And without saying words, you hear the words, "This is a gift. You have nothing to fear." And you're full of anticipation as he takes his left hand, puts it on your shoulder, takes his right hand, places it on your solar plexus, and in an instant, this energetic surge rushes up your spine and all through your body, just completely saturating every part of your body and your light body and your mind with this blissful, oh. And all of a sudden in your mind, images are rushing through of crazy places and people and creatures and every kind of imaginable magic experience, like going by in an instant. And you come back and you realize that you're changed now. The things you can feel, the things you can see and sense, the energy that you actually are, refined, elevated in frequency. And you realize that you've just been given the greatest gift of your life. And you step back on wobbly legs. And the sage slowly disappears back into the light and fading away. And now you take 3 really nice deep breaths. With each inhale, you come back towards your earthly body. Slowly returning to this space, this frequency. All right, one more. And exhale, and you're back. Take a second and just bring your awareness back. That was a fun trip. All right, let me know if you guys like that one. All right. Anybody looking for a reading out there by any chance? All right, let me scroll back here. Natalie. All right. Yeah, as I read back through this, yeah, all right. As I read back through this, I really think we should take advantage of just gathering some energy, some of that gold healing energy that we just infused ourselves with, and send that off to Minty. All right. So let's just, close your eyes. Let's do the thing like we did with Adam. All right. We're all in a circle, but we're just our light body. All right. And we're all in an energetic connection. And in the center of the circle, just imagine Minty's light. All right. And we're going to start a little vortex of energy just around us in our circle. All right. Just on the perimeter. We're going to send that. We're going to do that in a counterclockwise fashion. All right. Here we go. We're all nice and connected. Juicy. All right. All right, so I want everybody to take a really nice deep breath and fill it up. And when I say release, focus all of that energy on Minty in the center of the circle. Okay? Bright gold, warm goodness. All right, here we go. All right, we've got the juice going around the center. All right, here we go. Really super deep breath. Inhale as much as you can. There we go. And release right to Minty. Relief, healing, relaxed. Awesome. Wow, we're getting pretty good at that. Excellent. All right, Nat, you're up first. Oh, Rick, thanks. Rick said he loved that one. All right, Nat, concentrate. Nice 3 breaths and just get really centered. Words of wisdom for my friend Natalie. Words of wisdom for my friend Natalie. Words of wisdom for my friend Natalie. Always a good omen. The undercut card, the Ace of Pentacles. Woohoo. All right, first card is lust. Lust is like that, lust. It's unabated, man. It doesn't care about anything except its satisfaction. Ah, that like ambition, that absolute, I've got to have it energy, which is really good energy to use if you channel it and keep it under control. It's really kind of scary energy if you let that run amok, because you can make some very bad decisions in that zone. And you've got some really important decisions coming up pretty quickly. So just use that juice, but use that in a channeled, focused way, right? And the good news is that if you do, the sun, man, that is the absolute success, total success. The sun's the one card that relates to every single zodiac sign. So it's success in every direction, man. If you think about the light of the sun coming off in 360 degrees, that's what that's about too. And there'll be a really definite answer and clarity about what you're thinking about. All right, and the last card is you're probably going to wind up finding a really cool new way to roll. This is the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords represents a time where you've been getting your sustenance has run out. You've gotten as much from that as you possibly can, and it's time to move on and find a new place for sustenance and to feed you, and this is kind of where, that sounds like, oh no, what am I going to do? But just like be sort of expectant, because this is the place where the eureka moments happen, right? Where you're just kind of standing around, you're in the grocery store line, you're like, oh my God, that's perfect. So just get your energy in a really good zone. What we just did really promotes this sun juice, and just be really aware and listening and ready and write them down, man. I think sometimes you lose some really good ideas because you have a really good idea, but you don't write it down, and then like you remember part of it, but don't bring it back all the way. So make sure in the next week or so that you're really kind of paying attention. Keep a little notebook by. If you have one of those moments like, wow, this is how I need to be doing this. Make sure you write that down. All right. All right. Let's see. Jason, this one's for you, man. Glad you enjoyed the meditation. All right, my brother. Focus that thing down. Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom from my friend Jason. Words of wisdom from my friend Jason. Words of wisdom from my friend Jason. Yeah, okay. The undercut card, the Fool. Always a great card. All right. So the first card is the Ace of Cups. Fantastic card. That's connection to your heavenly connection and your intuition. your receptive skills opening up. This is also that place where if you've been kind of stifled, and this can be spiritually, but this can also be in the world. Like if you've been kind of like wrapped up, man, and not available, not like open to like the concept of love. And I don't mean just in a like a relationship love thing, but I mean like sometimes you wrap it up, man, and you're not giving it, you're not really receiving it, man. Need to make sure that that connection is open and flowing with goodness. All right, and you know, foster your connection and practice some of your intuitive exercises. All right, followed by the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords, a lot of people think is a really super yucky card because it's the moment where the swords have fallen. They're like, you're dead, man. What this card represents is the death of a way of thinking, a way of being, and creating something new out of that that is more appropriate to the vibration and the frequency that you're living on now. And at the end of that, this is the Ace of Pentacles, which is the power to make like a new materialization happen. There's the energy and the charge to like blast off this new behind a new version of you, a new upgraded, like, you know, we're always upgrading, right? Sometimes those go through really weird cycles where it's kind of like boom, and then like new circumstances happen and new people are around, and like you're in this whole zone of building a new you. And that's a really great opportunity for you to be who you know you should be and want to be, and not who you've had to be. Yeah, for sure. Good things coming for you, man. You're welcome, Nat. All right, Linda Martin, this one's for you. What's up, Mr. Zen? All right, you're all over the place. Get focused, Linda. Yeah, let me get a nice shuffle on this. All right. Really, really nice breaths, Lindy. Words of wisdom from my friend Linda. Words of wisdom from my friend Linda. Words of wisdom from my friend Linda. All right. So the first card is the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles represents where you've achieved some safety. A lot of times that's represented financially because it's a pentacle, it's an earth card. But you've like boxed that away. It's like on the Three of Pentacles, you're the master and you're at the peak of your game and you're making that money, man, but you're stashing all of that money. And um, it's like not in the living system, right? And that will wind up stagnating, and you just got to make sure that you um, keep your finances flowing and um, giving it a chance to breathe and grow and be part of the system. This is also a place where stability is, which can be really good in the kind of zone and energy that I think you're sort of experiencing right now. The next card is, and this has been so me, man. It's the nine of pentacles or the nine of swords. This is my most hated card in the deck because this is where I torture myself with my own mind. I've got something bad going on. I've got some situation coming up that could be really screwed up. And man, my old reflex was just to sit there and stew and use my infinite creative abilities to come up with scenario after scenario of how bad it's going to suck and how bad it's going to hurt and how everything's going to get lost, only to find out like right after it's all over, I'm like, wow, that wasn't that bad. So, I think you have a tendency to overthink things at times. It's a dual-edged sword, but just make sure you're not like torturing yourself over your own torturing, and that you like keep it real on what really is there and don't overinflate that. And what happens when you do that, like whatever is like rocking on and they're worried about, it's all going to be good, man. It's just the sun. It's like total success in every direction. And, we've worked through kind of a weird time right now. Nothing has really flown or flowed with the smoothness I think that everybody is used to dealing with. But, the solar energy is still around, and we're doing, by the way, keep doing the 369 thing. I'm getting such goodness and relief from that, and that shield that we did last week, and people have been getting some good response to that. So I think that's kind of a key to like has kept me in a better place this week, and I'd like to encourage you to do that too. So don't worry, it's all going to be good. It's all going to be perfect, as a matter of fact, and you're going to be very, very happy that it worked out the way it did. Oftentimes it's like what seems like a burden and almost a punishment at the time winds up being something that like finds something inside you that you would not have found otherwise. All right. You are welcome, Jason. My pleasure. All right. Anybody else? Inga was, no, I don't think so. All right. Let me just check back through here. No, it looks like I got everybody taken care of tonight, man. I am gonna do one thing though before I check off, just to see if he's stuck all the way through. Yeah. All right, here, hold on one second. Let me find I should have loaded this up. I hadn't planned on doing this. All right, Angel Channel. Shows. I'm looking for the manual. Hold on, man. I gotta have that. I gotta have that for this because it's just a deal I made with them, man. All right, man. Oh man. All right. There we go. Good gracious. Okay. This one's for Og. All right. This one's for you, Mr. Owl. Words of wisdom for my friend Og. Words of wisdom for my friend Og. Words of wisdom for my friend Og. Pretty funny. The angel of ritual and ceremony. number 38. Yes. All right, here. Give me 1 second. We'll get this bad boy up. Yeah, share screen, window. There you are. Wow, we're getting faster at this. There we go. All right, things are really cooking now. Trust that you are able to make good decisions. Let go of your need for everything to be perfect all of the time. Like they say in John Wick, take it slow and relax. Your world is moving very quickly, so do not let the pace get you down. Be deliberate in your planning with plenty of time to think before committing yourself. Be certain that you're dealing with the right people, and until they've proven themselves, don't make any big decisions. You can be slightly out of balance. You've been knocked over by the people and problems charging your defenses. The blinders have come off so that you can see the truth and communicate. This has been an emotionally shattering experience for you. You will need outside help. Yeah, well, okay. I think you've got plenty of that. Anyway, looks like we've come to the end of the road. Once again, I can't believe we always made it through. We made it through once more. And again, send your good wishes out to Minty. We'll have him in September, and I'll happily look forward to that. So as always, please hit the like, the subscribe, share something if you can, leave a comment down in the comments. It really does help me get out to some new people. I'm not looking to get millions of viewers, but there are people out there that this would be really useful for. And, I'm watching some of you guys really flower and grow. And by the way, all you spinners out there, man, I want my videos. Send me your videos of spinning. All right. So until next week, stay out of trouble, stay out of the sun. And I love you guys very much, man. Thanks for sharing space with me once again. All right. And we joyously close our circle this evening and send everyone on their happy way. We thank the angels, guides, and spirits that have shared their love and joy and knowledge of the source with us. And as always, with absolute gratitude for it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly, with absolute unconditional love, and our wish for bliss to the source. Until next week, be in the light.